news stories for you again, viewers. Firstly, PM Abdullah Hamdok, Sudanese Prime Minister, is all set to resign. A source in his office has disclosed that he is about to resign. Now, 5 days ago, we talked about that. Now, it seems that in coming hours, he could resign. Secondly, Somalia views. President of Somalia, Farmajo, has been given 24 hours by the elders to leave Villa Somalia, presidential palace of Somalia. Things are evolving very rapidly in Somalia. And lastly, we have an update for you from North Gonder zone of Amhara region. Tigray forces were in some parts of North Gonder, especially in Adi Arkay town of North Gonder. Reportedly, some developments have happened on the ground in Adi Arkay. We'll try to update you about who is in control of Adi Arkay. Is TDF in Adi Arkay? Has Ethiopian National Defense Force taken control of Adi Arkay? We have a few updates for you from North Gonder zone of Amhara region. Firstly, viewers, Sudanese PM Abdullah Hamdok is all set to resign. Sources at his office have confirmed that he has prepared his resignation, and in coming hours he could submit his resignation. Though officially it has not been announced, but very credible sources are saying that he is all set to resign. 5 days ago, we told you about PM Hamdok's intention to resign. Then he held a meeting with Abdul Fattah al-Burhan, Sudanese army chief. He changed his mind. And after that, we saw two massive protests in Sudan when protesters almost reached the gates of presidential palace in Khartoum. So once again, Abdullah Hamdok has made up his mind to resign. And today, reportedly, once again, Abdul Fattah al-Burhan and his deputy Hamati held a meeting with Hamdok. They tried to convince Hamdok not to quit. But what we have learned is that PM Abdullah Hamdok has made it clear that he does not want to continue as the Prime Minister of Sudan. What happened? Why is he leaving? He has lost the support of protesters and political factions. He had the backing of protests when the protests started on the 25th of October, when Sudanese army chief Abdul Fattah al-Burhan staged a coup. Then he was reinstated after he struck a deal with Abdul Fattah al-Burhan on the 21st of November this year. After that, we saw that protesters turned against him as well. They rejected Hamdok-Burhan agreement. Protesters want accountability of Sudanese military. They do not want to see any role of Sudanese military in Sudanese politics. But Sudanese military is not stepping back today. Abdul Fattah al-Burhan gave immense powers to Sudanese police to launch a crackdown on protesters. So we could see government action, excessive use of force against upcoming protests in Sudan. Before that, Hamdok has decided to quit, viewers. We could see his resignation in coming hours. There is instability and chaos in Sudan, you can say. Secondly, viewers, Somalia. Things are happening very rapidly in Somalia, viewers. We saw a statement from President Farmajo a few hours ago when he announced to suspend Prime Minister Roble. Then Roble issued a statement. He said that Farmajo's announcement was against the constitution of Somalia, and he directed Somali military to report to him directly. So confrontation is there both are not backing off, and now reportedly some roads leading to Villa Somalia, Somali President Palace, they have been blocked by some troops loyal to PM Roble. And some Somali elders they have announced an ultimatum of 24 hours to President Farmajo. They are telling President Farmajo to leave Villa Somalia in the next 24 hours. Very rapid developments are happening in Somalia, viewers. Somali army, Somali police could split between Roble and Farmajo. We saw that in April, I think, and in October too, that when there were disagreements between Farmajo and other political actors in Somalia, there were splits in Somali military and police too. It could happen now as well, viewers. Better sense must prevail, otherwise Somalia could move towards chaos and civil war. That is why we have seen statements from the US, the UK and other embassies. They are calling for calm. They want de-escalation of tensions. Mobilization of some forces, some militias is being seen in Mogadishu. Troops loyal to President Farmajo are there in Mogadishu, and PM Roble has significant backing in Mogadishu too. What is going to happen in coming hours, that remains to be seen. But this country is fighting an armed group which is a threat to the entire region, to Kenya, to Somalia, to Ethiopia, Al-Shabaab. How can this country fight an armed group while there is so much political instability in the country? Will Somali military and police back PM Roble or President Farmajo? Or will they be split? That remains to be seen. What about Jubaland, Puntland, other regions, their regional presidents? What will they do? Will they throw their weight behind Roble or Farmajo? Several questions. Coming hours very crucial for Somalia. Lastly, we have an update for you from North Gonder zone of Amhara region. Tigray forces had withdrawn from most parts in Amhara region, but they were still there in North Gonder. There was presence of Tigray forces in Adi Arkay town. Adi Arkay is in North Gonder zone of Amhara region, but we have received some reports now that Tigray forces have largely vacated Adi Arkay. TDF is not positioned in Adi Arkay now. It has withdrawn towards Tigray-Amhara border. Ethiopian National Defense Force members, Amhara forces, they have managed to enter Adi Arkay town. Was there any fighting in Adi Arkay? We have not received so far any credible reports about fighting inside the town. What we have learned though is that now Ethiopian government forces are inside the town. It seems that TDF withdrew from Adi Arkay like it withdrew from other places in Amhara region. Though we don't have any visual confirmation, no pictures, no videos from Adi Arkay. But the sources who are sharing this news are credible and reliable. And they say that there is presence of Ethiopian National Defense Force and Amhara forces in Adi Arkay. Question, viewers, is will Amhara forces and ENDF, will they try to enter western Tigray and the areas to the west of Takeze River from Adi Arkay? If they manage to consolidate their control of Adi Arkay, that remains to be seen, viewers. We could see an attempt from Amhara forces, Eritrean forces, to push Tigray Defense Force towards Takeze, to the east of Takeze, there could be an attempt to push Tigray Defense Force, because Amhara region's claim is that Tigray is to the east of Takeze, Amhara region's areas are to the west of Takeze, and that is why they're claiming Western Tigray. So we could see an attempt from Amhara forces, Aratin forces, because there is presence of Aratin forces in Western Tigray too. We could see an attempt from regional federal forces, Aratin forces, to push Tigray Defense Force towards Takeze, to the east of Takeze River. So far, what we can confirm is that Adi Arkay town in North Gonder zone of Amhara region has come under the control of Amhara forces, and Ethiopian National Defense Force. Tigray Defense Force has largely withdrawn from Adi Arkay towards Tigray Amhara border. No visual confirmation, but sources which are sharing this news, this development with us, are mostly reliable. And they told us about Alamata as well. Then later we came to know that Alamata was under ENDF. We got geolocated pictures of ENDF in Alamata. So Adi Arkay could be under ENDF Amhara control. And TDF was expected to withdraw from Adi Arkay. TDF never wanted to be in Adi Arkay. TDF wants to be in Humra, Volkai, Sagade, not in Adi Arkay. So it was likely that TDF would withdraw. And it seems they have withdrawn from Adi Arkay towards Tigray Amhara border. Thanks for watching.